Trent, I'm sure you had an idea that Joey was maybe going to leave. How did you receive it when you told her?
Yeah, I was pretty cool about it. You know, that's obviously knew he was going to extend, and then his decision to move in 2025. You know, that's his decision, and it's I was pretty relaxed about knowing. I didn't think Joey was going to be sort of a 10-year player. You know, I thought he would often play for the Roosters, but I also knew his desire to play different levels, different sports. So really supportive and happy with the process from our point of view.
When you say often play for the Roosters, you assume that you maybe expect him to come back one day?
I know he's a Rooster, so and he's quite clear on that, but I also know he's a young guy that's got a desire on different things in life as well. And that's one of his, which he's put down the track. He knows what the next couple of years means to us and to him, but then he'll get to that at some point.
How's he been with all this extra attention and plenty of things said about what is still a 19-year-old kid?
Yeah, it's a weight that you've got to carry. That's the truth of it. Is as a young guy and as a 19-year-old, you're not expected to. But if you want to be the best possible player you can be and up in lights there, you're going to have to carry some weight along the way, and that's come in bucket loads in the last few months, and it's all a part of his learning as well. So it's good. I don't see it as a negative. He has to learn to carry it, put it in the right spot if he wants to be the best player in this game.
Phil Gould's probably led that by saying you're going to go right now.
Yeah.
Can't imagine that's going to happen, is it, on your watch?
No, it's a ridiculous comment. You know, that was a guy that's looking after another club, and ridiculous comment to say about Joey and what he would do. He can stick to his turf and we'll stick to ours and how we want to deal with it. And it showed a fair bit of fear for me about another code. You know, lots of players sign a year out. Coaches go between rugby union and rugby league, but to come out against Joey as a 19-year-old showed a fair bit of fear about what the building is across the road for us. And I feel like there's been a lot back and forth between the two codes as well. And I really like rugby union. You know, it's okay to say as a rugby league guy that you like the game. They've got an amazing international game, which is the World Cup every 4 years, is a huge attraction for players and for us to watch. You know, I enjoy watching it. The European game's strong, but the fact is we have the best rugby competition, league or union, in the world. That's what the NRL is. It's by far the best competition. And they know it and we know it. You know, both sides of the game. Everyone around the world watches NRL, I can tell you that. From rugby union to rugby league players, they all know this is the hardest and longest competition in the world. And that's why we enjoy watching it. So therefore, there's no fear on that. We're always going to attract players that want to be their best, that want to be at the height of the game. And that's why I think players will come and go at different times. They'll have, 15 spots, and they might have, 4 or 5 big players that are going to play in that. But we've got 17 teams of such a great competition. And that's that's the calmness, I guess, that says we're going to produce players because of the way that we train, the competition that we have every week. We're going to have a great competition always. And this is the pinnacle of any rugby competition in the world. So stay cool, relax. We're going to produce players, and don't come out with fearful comments about other codes and all of that. Respect both sides of it, enjoy parts of their game, but stand tall on what our game is. So just relax.
Robbo, what about some of the commentary that Joey should be excluded from the Origin fold because he's decided to go to another code?
No, he's in our game. He's playing rugby league. He's a rugby league player for the next couple of years. So stay cool, relax, and just play what's in front of you. Don't play what's down the path there in a few years' time.
Does it frustrate you as a coach who cares so much about his players that a 19-year-old is copying so much?
Well, there's two parts to it. There is a bit of protection of your own players and wanting to look after them, because they're not going to stand up and have that really strong voice. But also at some point, Joey does need to stand up and have a voice, because he has also put himself in the spotlight by the way that he plays, just purely from his actions, but also the way that they've negotiated the contracts. He needs to talk about that and his desires at some point. So I like the fact, if you're going to be the best, I've seen some guys in my past that have put themselves out there like this, and they've had to back it up on the field, and they've had to cop criticism, but ultimately it's got the best out of them if they've handled it well.
Are you and the club comfortable with how that negotiation process went?
Yep, yeah, more than fine.
You see Joey every day. Do you think he's a big name signing for rugby?
Yeah, of course.
What he's going to pay?
Well, they've paid for potential as well. He's still learning to get the best out of himself. He's not the finished product. He's still working really hard. He's 19. And players will get better throughout their 20s. And our job is to continually sort of push him to get the best out of himself, and himself as well. So they're paying for potential, which everybody can see, and it's our job and his job to progress that for the Roosters over the next couple of years.
Robbo, you said now it's up to Joey to sort of back it up on the field. You've got him for another 2 more seasons. What's his ceiling as a Rooster?
Yeah, that's the thing, is there's not a ceiling. In coaching terms, our job's to raise the floor on where he, what his base level is, and then the ceiling's up to us and him to continually push that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to move him positions. We're trying to put him some framework around the way that he plays that role, and he's going to be scrutinised. Obviously, we can see that, but he's 3 games in, about to be 4 games into a centre role. So he's still in the learning phase as a 19-year-old, and we're going to support that. But I know he's going to push for his best, and so are we.
What have you seen from him in those 3 weeks that's impressed you in that job?
Yeah, I've seen both sides of it. I've seen a guy that's, the way that he plays, the intensity that he plays with, and he goes after the game, both offensively and defensively. And then I've seen some stuff that I want him to improve on, and we've discussed that. There is a lot externally around it, but just the simple coaching of the daily meetings that you have with him and the training, we're on a path to get him better than what he was the first 3 rounds, and we want big improvement over the next couple of years.
Robbo, do you expect that rugby union will reach out and say, can we have him early? And if so, is the answer going to be an emphatic no?
No, it's the speculation around it. It's really simple. He'll be here. Those conversations are really clear between Joseph and myself and the club, and also there's no desire from them to get him out early either. So that's really simple. Doesn't need to be speculated on. He'll be here for the next 2 years.
You used the word fear before. Am they saying stay cool, stay calm?
Yep.
Are you fearful that rugby are going to be hunting more?
I think by my comments are pretty clear that I think I spent 5 minutes talking about that. I'm definitely not. There's going to be players that come back and forth, and as I said, they don't have 17 times 30 spots. They've got 4 or 5 that they'll go after, and that's fine. That's the competition that makes this competition in Australia so fierce. But there's no fear at all, none whatsoever.
Trent, how was the bye week?
The bye week was good. We got some work done, as I talked about in the post-match afterwards. We got some work done, a bit of time off, and then got to work on Sunday. Looking forward to tomorrow night.
It felt like last season the bye week would have kickstarted you guys into a bit of a run of form. Did you see similarities between the way the guys trained this time and last time?
Around 4 buys quite early, but our desire to improve on some things that we saw in the first 3 rounds was there, and we worked on those. We got some fitness done, took a breath, and sort of we started attacking this week on Sunday. And we want to be better than what we did on the first 3 rounds tomorrow night. That's that continual improvement you need on your style of game early in season, and it's no different with us.
What specifically are you targeting?
No, that's an internal bit. That's our coaching method at the start of a season, things that we really value, which will stay internal. But we feel like we've got a couple of players to get back over the next couple of weeks, which are going to come back into our fold. But we've had a group of guys that have started the season really well for us.
How's Radley bounced back from that injury?
Yeah, he was. So that was obviously round 1, missed round 2, and then he's been really good. He obviously pushed for round 2 and didn't play. We stood him down from that before the rules came in, and then he gets to play his 100th game for the Roosters tomorrow night, which is pretty special for us, local Clovelly Croc, and the way that he's gone about playing those games. And it's a milestone that happens every now and then in clubs, but to have one of our locals and the way that he's played and the big games that he's played in and the intensity that he brings to our game, it's great to bring up 100 games for him tomorrow.
He's a unique player, I guess, on and off the field, but what do you enjoy most about coaching Victor?
He's got this intensity about the way that he plays the game. He's got a great knowledge of the game. I would say he's probably only second to Cooper in sitting in a meeting and the knowledge that he can take on and then produce and repeat. So his footy knowledge is incredible, which he wouldn't get credit for because he plays the other card often. And he bleeds red, white and blue. Like, he absolutely bleeds red, white and blue, both on the field but off the field. Everything he does for the Roosters community and the love that he has for this area and club is second to none.
Is that footy knowledge, did he come ready-made with that, or have you seen it develop? Because that's a fair compliment saying he's behind only Cooper.
Yeah, he attributes it to when he was an apprentice on the work site, and he had to get all the lunch orders, so his memory had to be really good. He said he never got a lunch order wrong out of all the 15 guys on site, so he said his memory retention came from being an apprentice. I think he's lived and breathed footy for his whole life, and he's loved it so much that he thinks it's cool to know everything in footy. There's other things that I don't think are cool that he thinks cool are off the field, but he knows that being sort of the smartest guy on field is cool, and his ability to remember it all and ask for other guys to remember it as well is a big part of our club.
Robert, just on Jaxson Paulo, we spoke to him on Sunday,
Yeah.
and he spoke about how coming to the Roosters has helped him find a newfound confidence in his game. When the opportunity came to bring him over, what was it about him that you thought would work well at the Roosters? Yeah,
we saw there's a natural ability to him. He's got an ease about the way that he moves and plays. And we felt like there was a really athletic style, and he had a lot of the tools. You don't often, in a short period of time, develop all these tools at his age. So we felt like he had some really good tools. And we saw him from a young age up at the Gold Coast. And then we saw some of the issues last year, and he's gone about doing it mostly, and we've tried to assist that confidence in his position and his play to produce. I feel like he's done that extremely well. He's been one of our best players over the first 3 rounds.
The other thing you spoke about was obviously the social media trolling you copped towards the end of last year. You spoke about it quite eloquently and with some maturity. What does it say about his mental resilience to be able to have a mature perspective about what happened to him?
Yeah, I think he obviously played well for South when he was there, and played a lot of first grade, and then obviously didn't at the end of the year. And there was a lot that came during that period, right? So and he was well supported by the guys over there as well. And then 3 rounds in, he has to go and play against them, and then he goes and he has a try scored against him within the first sort of 5 minutes or 10 minutes there from AJ down the wing. And a lot of that stuff can come up, and I feel like that game showed the maturity. He had to play his former club. He got beaten on a pass and a kick in the first sort of 10 to 15 minutes, and then he nailed his role and came back and became triumphant at the end in the way that he played. And I feel like that's a snapshot of the work that he's done and where he's got to as a player. And we look forward to continuing that.
Trent, James Tedesco's name came up at a Brad Arthur press conference yesterday. Apparently the joke is that Gutho is happy to give up his number 1 jersey if it's for Teddy coming in. You got any response to that?
I know they're very close mates, so yeah, lucky we extended him. Is all I'm going to say there. He's our fullback, but yeah, he's not going over there. So just Gutho can stay at 1.
Robert, can I just ask you one too? Angus Crichton's been in and around the club the last couple of weeks. 1, how is he? 2, what's the timeline for Angus in some possible return?
Yeah, so he's been training with one of our sort of physical performance guys and getting physically ready, getting a bit of that pre-season work into him. And I think it'll be next week. We're sort of looking forward to having him back in and around the team and team training. So that's been a positive, but there's obviously fair bit of volume, both in the gym and on the field, that he's missed, and he's getting that done at the moment.
Just saw Nathan Brown coming in, good addition.
Yeah, he's been really good. He's coming back from a hammy injury, so we're looking forward to sort of next week or the week after. But yeah, he's been a really positive guy. I've enjoyed watching the battles with him and our club over the years, and yeah, there's a really good footy player there.